this developing stuff. I don't know how it's going to be, and like by tomorrow, this article like was written not that long ago. It's already out of date. But yeah, the UFOs are here. Look, man, the UFOs are here. We're all gonna die. They're coming for us. The aliens are here. That girl from that one Call of Duty break me down video, she was wrong. The aliens are contacting us. It's over, guys. U.S. shoots down unidentified cylindrical object over Canada. U.S. F-22 fighter jet shot down an unidentified cylindrical object over Canada on Saturday, the second such instance in as many days, as North America appeared on the edge following a week-long Chinese spying balloon saga that drew the global spotlight. I was talking to one of my friends, and he was telling me that like the F-22 got built like right as soon as the Cold War ended, so it doesn't have like any action. It doesn't have like any like air-to-air kills. So like in the last week, it's gotten all of the air to air kills it's ever gotten in its life, which is like super funny considering that it's like 30, 40 years old now. 30 years old, I think. Separately, the U.S. military also scrambled fighter jets in Montana to investigate a radar anomaly that triggered a brief federal closure of airspace. Those aircraft did not identify any object to correlate the radar hits, the North American Aerospace Defense Command said in the statement. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau first announced Saturday's shootdown over the northern Yukon Territory, saying Canadian forces would recover and analyze the wreckage. From what I understand, they haven't been able to get the Alaskan one because the weather's been really bad up there. So the Alaskan one was the first one they shot, but they just it's really tough getting into like Alaska. It's yeah, I mean if you want to go off the grid, that's where you go, I guess, because the weather's really bad and it's just like mountains and hills. Yeah. Canadian Defense Minister Anita Anand declined to speculate about the origin of the object, which he said was cylindrical in shape. So that's another interesting part. There's a lot of reports saying that there's like we don't really understand the shapes of these because the balloon was like the balloon, like you could tell like it had the payload and it had the little like balloon thing, but like these seem to be like a lot more different. They're noticing that they don't have like any propulsion systems or anything, so that's kind of weird. She stopped short of calling it a balloon, but said it was smaller than the Chinese balloon shot down off of South Carolina's coast a week ago, though similar in appearance. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. If it was a balloon, I feel like they just call it that, right? It's weird. A lot of questions are being, raised, but nothing's being answered. Aloft at 40,000 feet, it posed a risk to civilian air traffic and was shot down at 3:41 Eastern Standard Time, she added. There is no reason to believe that the impact of the object in Canadian territory is of any public concern, Anand told the news conference. The Pentagon said NORAD detected the object over Alaska late on Friday. U.S. fighter jets from Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson, Alaska, monitored the object as it crossed into Canadian airspace, where Canadian CF-18 and CP-104 aircraft joined the formation. That's like letting a little brother, tag along. You're all like, oh, can we come along too? A US F-22 shot down the object in Canadian territory using an AIM-9X missile, following close to coordination between the U.S. and Canadian authorities, Pentagon spokesman Brig Gen Patrick Ryder said in a statement. U.S. President Joe Biden authorized the U.S. military to work with Canada to take down the high-altitude craft after a call between Biden and Trudeau, the Pentagon said. The White House said Biden and Trudeau agreed to continue close coordination to defend our airspace. The leaders discussed the importance of recovering the object in order to determine more details on its purpose or origin, it said in a statement. Yeah, here's a nice picture of an F-22. Apparently it had no kills up until last week, so that's good for it, I'm glad that the billions we're spending on like the contracting industry is like paying off finally by shooting down these weird balloons and other stuff. Maybe it's aliens, maybe we're getting down to the aliens. It would be like super funny if there was like actual aliens, which I don't think it is. It's probably not aliens, but it would be incredibly hilarious if like it was aliens and like they didn't realize that we were just gonna shoot them down. Just like some people like poking in their heads and like they just happen to land in like America of all places where like, yeah, we're gonna shoot you down, bro. We don't care. Like we're just gonna shoot down first. We'll ask questions later. A day earlier, Biden ordered another shoot down of an identified flying object near Dead Horse, Alaska. Yeah, so the Alaska one is the first of the UFOs that we don't know about, and the second one was in Canada. And there's a third one, which I don't know if this article will mention because I think that happened not too long ago today. On Saturday, the U.S. military remained tight-lipped about what, if anything, it had learned as recovery efforts were underway on the Alaskan sea ice. On Friday, the Pentagon offered only a few details, such as the object was the size of a small car, was flying at about 40,000 feet, could not maneuver, and appeared to be unmanned. U.S. officials have been trying to learn about the object since it was first spotted on Thursday. We have no further details at this time about the object, including its capabilities, purpose, or origin, Northern Command said on Saturday. It mentioned difficult Arctic weather conditions, including wind chill, snow, and limited daylight that can hinder search and recovery. Yeah, it's winter right now, so especially up north, the sun rises and sets like very quickly, man. I think they only have like probably like what 5 or 6 hours of daylight up there. It's very rough. Personnel will adjust recovery operations to maintain safety, it added. On February 4th, a U.S. F-22 fighter jet brought down the U.S. government calling a Chinese surveillance balloon off the coast of South Carolina following its week-long journey across the United States and portions of Canada. China said it was a civilian research vessel. From what I've heard about the Chinese balloon, like for any updates, is that it did have some like capabilities, not necessarily to spy, I guess to pick up radar. I mean, I guess that is spying, right? But yeah, it's just I guess for surveilling. I don't know if it had any weather stuff. No one's made any reference to that, which I think was what China was saying. It was like, bro, trust. It's a weather balloon, bro. Please trust us. Some U.S. lawmakers criticized Biden for not shooting down the Chinese balloon sooner. Don't care. U.S. personnel have been scouring the ocean to recover degrees of the undercarriage of electronic gadgetry of the Chinese balloon. The Pentagon has said a significant amount of balloon had already been recovered or located, suggesting American officials may soon have more information about any Chinese espionage capabilities abroad. They're still being kind of vague about the espionage capabilities. Not really sure why. I mean, even for like a jingoist, it'll be like, yeah, look at this rubbish that the Chinese have. Like, this is garbage. Like, our stuff is way better. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking, at least in my head. Sea conditions on February 10th permitted dive and underwater manned vehicle activities and the retrieval of additional debris from the seafloor. The public may see U.S. Navy vessels moving to and from the site as they conduct offload and resupply activities. Is that it, man? Oh, I guess this doesn't include all the stuff that's been happening today. They're too busy going over the Super Bowl or something. I wonder if I could pull up an article real quick. Over Lake Huron, the U.S. downs a third unidentified object in 3 days. We're 3 for 3, baby. That's right. I'm glad that all my taxes are going into these fighter jets. I mean, they're mostly going to line the pockets of like, who makes these? Lockheed, I think. Unidentified object has been shot down by U.S. forces over Lake Huron, according to the Department of Defense. The object appears to be the same object that had been detected over Montana a day earlier, said officials. That's really interesting because the NORAD was all like, oh, the Montana thing was like a bug or a glitch or something. I wonder if there's like technology in the UFO or whatever it is that's like messing with the radar. The airborne object, flying about 20,000 feet above the lake waters, was shot down by an F-16 fighter jet with a... Oh, they should have let the F-22 get more kills. Come on, man. With a missile on Sunday afternoon at the direction of President Biden and based on the recommendations of military leadership. Pentagon Press Secretary Brig General Pat Ryder said in a statement. The path and altitude of the object, which flew close to sensitive DoD sites and could have posed a risk to commercial aircraft, sparked concerns, the press secretary said. We do not assess it to be a kinetic military threat to anything on the ground, but assess it to a safety, flight hazard, and a threat due to potential surveillance capabilities. On Saturday, North American Aerospace Defense Command said that it detected a radar anomaly over Havre, Montana, after an aircraft investigation of radar hits failed to locate an object matching the hits. Yeah, so they were like, oh, it's an anomaly, but it seems like it wasn't. But on Sunday, Ryder said officials could reasonably link the object down that afternoon to the radar signal that picked up over Montana based on its flight path and data. Our team will now work to recover the object in an effort to learn more. So did they lose it? I don't understand. Like, how do they say that it's an anomaly? Unless it had, like, the tech that I mentioned earlier. Because, like, if it's in a certain spot and it's flying, like, I don't know, I guess based off of the winds or something. How do you lose that? Earlier in the day, politicians from Michigan said they were in contact with the Defense Department about the object. The American people deserve far more answers than we have, Rep. Jack Bergman tweeted. The downing follows a shootout of cylindrical objects by the U.S. military in Canadian Yukon Territory on Saturday, and the downing of a high-altitude airborne object off of the northern coast of Alaska on Friday. The U.S. also took down a Chinese spy balloon. Right, yeah, this is stuff that we've already treaded.